The purpose of this podcast is to educate and inform. It is no substitute for professional care by your doctor or your qualified healthcare professional. Never disregard or delay professional medical advice because of something you've heard on this podcast or in any linked material. Guests who speak on this podcast express their own opinions, experience, and conclusions. Dr. Shirley neither endorses nor opposes any particular opinion discussed on this podcast. The views expressed on this podcast have no relation to those of any academic, hospital, practice, institution, or other entity with which Dr. Shirley may be affiliated.
Welcome to Forever FAB, the podcast on fashion, the art of living, and all things beauty. This podcast is curated by Dr. Shirley Madhere, MD, as the definitive source of holistic wellness through beauty.
Welcome to Forever FAB, the podcast dedicated to fashion, the art of living well, and all things beauty. Today we have an inaugural, most illustrious interview. To begin our interview series, we have Mr. David Kirsch. Drum roll, clapping, cheers. Mr. Kirsch, may I call you David?
Please.
Okay. You've been called the Sculpt Master. You are a best-selling author and writer. You've launched a line of supplements and protein powders. You've worked with a full spectrum of clients, from professional women, high-powered men, stay-at-home moms, and that's a pretty tough job, to celebrities. And some of the celebrities including Heidi Klum, J-Lo, Anne Hathaway.
Mm-hmm.
Did you also work with Dr. Oz?
Naomi Campbell.
Naomi Campbell. Well, all right, the list goes on and on.
The list goes on and on. Julia Roberts, I don't know if you said that.
I did not mention Ms. Roberts, but
Yes.
there you go. So welcome and congratulations on all of your success.
Thank you. I'm excited. I'm honored to be here speaking to you.
Thank you.
And full disclosure, right? I know
Yes.
you. I have the pleasure of Kirsching your ass.
Yes.
And it's
Whoop, whoop.
and it's an amazing thing.
Thank you. It is a work in progress. Allow me to say that. We've been working together, how long now? 4 months?
Yeah.
3 months?
Yeah.
Off and on. Mostly I try to get it on. I mean, in exercise-wise. And it makes a huge difference. Thank you so very much. I feel amazing every time I finish working with you, and more good stuff to come. But it's not about me today. It's about you and this podcast, and informing our listeners about how they could live a holistically more beautiful life through exercise. So that being said, I know one of the things that I appreciate about you, which is one of the things that brought me to you, was your holistic approach to wellness, and that the language of wellness that you speak is fitness. So you were an early adopter of harnessing the power of the mind to help get you fit. So can you tell me a little bit more about how you arrived at that philosophy?
I think early on in my career, even before I started in fitness, I was a very spiritually grounded person. I think more than I even realized, right? And I think that in life, we're born to do certain things. And it takes moments sometimes to realize that. And I certainly had a journey. I was in law school. I was a lawyer. I was unhappy. And I'll quote a very good friend of mine. And I said, basically, my passion had no purpose, right? I didn't feel that I was doing what God intended me to do, what I was blessed to do. I'm blessed with the innate ability to know and understand not only somebody's physical self, but their mental, spiritual, emotional side as well. And through self-practice, I realized that I could accomplish anything if I put my mind to it. Yes, our mothers say that if you really try your hardest and you really think about certain things, you can accomplish them. But when left to your own devices, and you're really forced to realize that and make that connection, you're put to the test. And the moment I realized that this is what I was meant to do, make people healthy, make people feel good about themselves, first and foremost, right? You need to like what you see. You're with yourself all the time, right? And you want to stay mindful and connected and humble and grateful and thankful for every moment. But so it starts there. So I think that when you say fitness, right, I say wellness. And I said wellness almost 20 years ago.
I know you did.
And people looked at me like I had 3 heads. What are you talking about? But I knew Sound Mind, Sound Body was my first book. And the precept there was, look, it's very, very easy, guys. You're not going to have a sound body if you don't have a sound mind.
Right.
And how do you feed, nurture that part of you and then connect it to your physical self? When you're 20, when you're 25, if you're God blessed with the most amazing genes and the most amazing body. And look, I've been surrounded by, I mean, you mentioned it, and I say it only to, whether it's, Naomi Campbell, and God created only one Naomi Campbell.
That's
There's
right, yeah.
Now, almost 20 years later, as beautiful as she was when I first met her. But we're all meant to be our best self and look and feel like Naomi Campbell or whomever your Jennifer Lopez, whatever it is. So finding that is I think the key here. So Sound Mind, Sound Body sort of laid it out, and there was a test. What do you think about yourself? What do you think other people think about you? I want you to do this program. Mm-hmm. I want you to make a contract to yourself.
Right.
I want to prioritize. I'm going to be my best self. I'm going to take care of myself, my soul, my body. I'm going to nurture it. I'm going to feed it, literally feed it, but spiritually feed it also. And I promise you in 6 weeks, there'll be a transformative event that happens. You'll never look at yourself the same way. You'll never look at fitness the same way, right? I think fitness falls under the wellness umbrella,
Agreed.
But it's only a small part of it. I think that wellness encompasses everything. The things we eat, the people we see, the places we experience on a day-to-day basis. New York wellness is a whole different breed of wellness than wellness in Los Angeles or somewhere else, right? So I think that's the key. And so that's what I learned early on. And the moment I really got it and knew that I had that gift, the rest of it came. Yeah. The lifting butts and tightening and toning and everything else. But
all very easy things to do.
But you know what? Relative, you say that, but relative to the mental, spiritual stuff, so many of us are disconnected.
Right.
I trained many a supermodel, many an unhappy supermodel. And it wasn't until we started training that they got it, right? And look, we'll get older. Things change, right? So if you're not connected, yeah.
So you do have an uncanny ability to connect different parts of the body and somehow make them work. And one of the other things that I appreciate about you and working with you is that you customize the workout for each individual, and not just an individual person and personality type, but also for that body type. It's not common to have a master trainer look at a person and think to him or herself, well, you know what, you have this particular body type, and therefore these types of exercises will help balance you out. And you do that. So is that something that you developed? Was it intuitive for you to just look at a body type and say, okay, more quads, less hams, or et cetera?
I think if you dummy it down, on the surface you can say more quads, less hams, do deadlifts, do certain squats. I say I have that nuance that I can say quite confidently. I've seen many trainers out there that have been doing it as long as I have and just don't get it. And that's what I do. I can look at your body. I can look at anyone's body and in a moment know that this needs to happen. We're going to do it this way. And look, based on your level of fitness, your level of connection to your body, it may manifest in a very different way. But you need to be intuitively connected and then be able to change it on a fly. Doesn't always work. And if it's not if it's not working, what do you do to make this happen? Because at the end of the day, my workouts are always meant to empower, enlighten, and spiritually uplift you. And if it's not happening, I don't care how sore your butt is. At the end of my Kirsching, I failed. I want you to walk out feeling great about yourself. I accomplished something. And not only that, but I have the confidence in the tool set to be able to do this when I'm on my own. Because unlike a myriad of trainer out there in any number of these mass-produced gyms that have level 3 training, blah, 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 all these letters after their name, I don't want you forever. You'll come back.
No question.
You'll come back, whether it's my book, whether it's for a quick refresher course. I want to educate you so that you can do this on your own. It can be on vacation. It can be on the beach. It can be in the office. It can be at home with a new baby. Whatever it is.
Right.
That's the idea.
Sounds good to me. I think I've signed up. It might be forever at the rate that I'm going. So you mentioned purpose. And I love that you mentioned purpose because I've got a question a little bit later related to that purpose. But let's talk about, you mentioned how wellness and fitness in one part of the country could be different in another part of the country. Specifically, let's just say, for example, the classic rivalry, New York versus LA. You wrote a book about New York, ultimate, New York fitness, wellness. So why did you feel compelled to write something specifically for New Yorkers or about the New York environment?
Right. So LA can say whatever they want.
That's right.
But everyone all over the world, including all over this country, look to New York and look to New Yorkers to drive, motivate, inspire, and copy what they're doing.
And get it done.
And by the way, we want it done yesterday. So the idea behind the Ultimate New York Body Plan, which came right after I did Extreme Makeover, and that was the precursor to Biggest Loser. And there was I didn't fully embrace the concept of what they were doing, but I understood that in a very short period of time, I could affect great change. And coming off of the Sound Mind, Sound Body book, which was not as big a seller until later on. And certainly in Germany, it was a #1 bestseller over the German Pope.
Wow. Wow.
So I was that was that one moment where I said, okay, I'm done. I can retire now.
I know.
Done. It was me, the German Pope, and then Harry Potter.
Oh, so, you had arrived.
But wellness was something esoteric, right? People were like, what is this guy talking about? He's on some mountain eating granola. My editor said, look, you need a very specific program, 2 weeks. What can you do? I said, 2 weeks, 2 dress sizes, 14 pounds, 14 days. Follow my ABCs. And if I tell you, when the book came out, and it was a bestseller, and it was here and in Germany, and I traveled throughout Canada and Europe, and it was translated into Spanish and Russian, and it was very exciting. It really was. I had a waiting list, double digits, for people to come do the 2-week program with me in New York. People
you must have been exhausted.
People would. It actually, at the end of it, made me. I got sick because when you're caught up in something and you don't listen to your body, you run yourself into the ground. But it was amazing to see both the physical changes. I had a client start the program and lose over 100 pounds
in 2 weeks.
No. Start the program,
Yes.
and in less than a year,
Okay.
lose 100 pounds.
Yeah.
My mom at 70 did the program and looked amazing, and she's in the book. So for me, it's timeless, it's ageless.
Yeah.
The idea was, forget about the 14 pounds, the possibility, the hope, the believability that no matter what level you're at, no matter how old you are, you can be your best you.
Yeah.
So the 14 pounds was quantifiable because that's what the editor said you needed.
Right.
I didn't fully embrace it, but I said, okay, you're
Yeah.
the editor. I'm writing it. I'm performing this thing.
Right.
I'll listen to you.
Right.
And we followed up with the New York diet. And it was like, okay, guys, you've lost this weight.
Yes.
How do you
Now what?
maintain
That's
this?
right.
So I didn't want to just drop you.
Yeah.
And nor is it healthy to do the stringent
That's right.
diet and working out every day.
Yeah.
It's too restrictive,
Right,
right? So you
right.
need to live. So the New York diet was about, okay, you've done this, you feel amazing, you've connected your mind and your body. So at the end of the day, wellness for me is mind and body.
Absolutely.
Mindful of what we do, how we work out, what we eat. We didn't accidentally have the sleeve of Oreo cookies, right? You had to make an effort to buy them and eat them, right? No one made you do it.
That's right.
So being mindful and accountability is huge, and it's one of the 7 things that I say to people when looking at their fitness wellness routine. Accountability, really owning it, and being truthful with yourself.
Right. Being accountable to yourself.
100%.
No
victims here.
No victims. I'm not so good with those accountability programs. Find a partner and make sure he or she calls you every day to figure out whether or not you're doing the right thing. Forget about it. I'm doing the right thing, all right? I can account for myself. So let's get back to weight loss. It continues to this day to be a bit of an albatross for many people, whether you're trying to lose 5 pounds, as I am, 7, or 50 pounds. Weight loss is still problematic for some and challenging.
So I'm going to answer, and I'm going to try not to digress too much, right? But I'm going to go way, way back.
Okay, let's go way back.
So I have 3 sisters, blessed with 3 sisters, and a mom and a grandmother and my dad and I. So there was a lot of women in my house.
Yeah.
And I got to say, probably not the healthiest attitude when it came to food.
Okay.
I was fine, right? Because I was always sort of my own person, sort of.
You were always the weirdo in the family?
A little bit. But I saw that, right? The weight, and
The fluctuations, the up
fluctuation,
and down.
the stress and anxiety.
Absolutely.
I'm going to fast forward. I have beautiful 9.5-year-old twin girls.
Yes, you
with
do.
2 different bodies. Yeah. Francesca has got my body, and Amelia has got Naomi Campbell's body. I don't know how that happened, but she does.
Okay.
And very different.
Yeah.
Equally beautiful, right?
Yes.
So the idea of weight and pounds and scales is all bullshit, guys.
Really?
And throw it out.
Really?
I don't care.
Everybody owns a scale.
Did I ever weigh you?
Never. And you will not.
I don't want to.
Okay, thank you.
So I can visually tell you, but everyone, by the way, if you haven't seen this beautiful woman,
Aw, thank
this
you.
amazing doctor, she's
Thank
gorgeous.
you.
So
Thank you.
she's a little cute in her self-application, but weight is meaningless to me, right? It's not, do you feel good about yourself? Do you feel you a healthy size 6, 8, 10?
Right.
God bless you. Or are you an unhealthy size 2 or 0?
Understood.
What are you doing it for? It's
Right.
not. I love working with women before they get married. No better client, no better diligence and focus and motivation.
Oh, yeah.
And I've got a whole roster of pictures, photographs framed on my wall in my Instagram account of my brides, and they're at the top of the game, gorgeous, every muscle, beautiful,
Defined.
the dress, they're strapless, backless, whatever.
Yes,
corseted.
sculpted.
But then the reality sits in, right? Maybe it's not the reality. Maybe they're the occasional indulgence. Maybe they're not meant to work out so intensively. So weight, pounds. We're obsessed with weight because American manufacturers and the diet companies of the world make us crazy because the information is misleading or outright just false.
True.
Right? Do I want to count points? Absolutely not.
I don't.
It's not the way to live. Do I want to be on some prefab packaged food that tastes like cardboard
Salt.
and full of
Sugar.
artificial ingredients or sugar or whatever? No. I want to be taught to eat properly. I want to understand when I go to the market and look at the nutritional labels.
Right.
My daughters do that with me. They did it when they're 3 years old. And they're like, "Oh, Daddy, no, this has too much sodium."
Wow.
Or it has too much sugar.
Yeah.
Or, "Daddy, is this organic?"
Yeah.
3 years old.
Yeah.
So just understanding the food, we're meant to eat whole foods.
Yeah.
Cavemen got it right. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
they got eaten by, dinosaurs or whatever. That's why they didn't have but real food.
Right.
Not food that come in a box, not a loaf of bread that can sit on the shelf for 5 years and not get moldy. Right? I don't want that.
No, agreed.
So I go back to it. Weight, sure. We want to look good and feel good. We want to look sexy. But sexy comes from here.
Absolutely. That's an inside thing, not necessarily
100%.
an outside thing.
I love European women. I love, in particular, French women, Spanish women that, a couple of pounds extra, they've got their bikinis on, whatever. And
Ay, papi.
yeah, it's real. It's real.
Yeah.
It's real.
Yeah.
I mean, I love working with Jennifer Lopez, right?
Yes.
Look, blessed with...
she looks fantastic, by
gorgeous.
the way.
She's going to be 50.
God bless her.
Great genetics, but also embracing her body.
And embracing who she is, where she's at.
100%.
I love that.
That's a key.
I love that. Well, thank you. I love the food conversation. It's really important. So I've got a list of questions for you, and I think they're really interesting. And you can make the answers as long or as short as you'd like. So the first one, we've heard all about what you've done and all your accomplishments, including your 2 beautiful daughters. So
Not my accomplishment. That's God's accomplishment.
Okay, yes.
I just, he gave them to me.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
All right. We won't get into biology of reproduction right now. But so describe yourself.
I'm shy. I don't talk a lot.
Wrong answer. Try again.
Yeah. 58 years old, 58 years young. I am the father of beautiful twin girls, Amelia and Francesca. I am blessed to be doing what I love to do. I wake up every day
At what time?
I wake up at 4:30 every morning, and I pray, I meditate, I clean my cats. I have 4 of them now. But I really feel blessed and grateful that I'm doing what I love to do and what I'm meant to do. And I think a lot of people cannot say that, right?
That's true.
And so I really am I take notice of that, even during stressful times. I've got amazing parents. I'm blessed they're still alive, and they live in New York. And one of my sisters lives in New York. So I have my little unit.
Yes.
And
Your posse.
my posse. And at the end of the day, you want to make sure you've got somebody that really cares, right? So I've got that. I'm a big foodie.
Yes.
I love to eat. I love to cook. I love taking crazy things like meatballs and spaghetti and fried chicken and making them healthy and
I was gonna
delicious.
say, wow, you actually eat that stuff?
And making them delicious.
Okay, making them clean and healthy.
And I love gelato from Italy with the girls.
Good for you.
Right. So they actually, it was very interesting. I did this from let's say 1990 till 2009, whatever the math is. I don't know what the math 20 years, maybe. I don't know.
No,
And
yeah.
and anyone that knew me, certainly in Ultimate New York Body Plan, it was a crazy, less than 1,000 calorie a day diet.
Oh my gosh,
They were
that's
like,
restrictive.
you are crazy,
yeah,
boy.
that is highly restrictive.
Never bread, never an egg yolk, never this, never fun, never alcohol. But then the girls were born, right?
Yeah.
And then suddenly looking at fitness, wellness, my career going back and going forward through their eyes.
Yeah.
And it has a way of changing your perspective, making it a little more realistic, right? You live in the reality. I want to enjoy myself. I want to raise healthy children with a healthy attitude for food. Don't worry about your size. Everyone is blessed by God in His image, and they have their own physical and mental self, and you need to be at one with that, right? So I've got that, right? So what's next, right? So I do have my supplements line, and we're gonna relaunch that. So I tried for a moment to because I was so anal about my food. I thought the only way to get it right was to cook for myself, and I started my own food business. And I have to say, maybe a little immodestly, that
you rocked it.
I did rock it, but I was always a little bit ahead of my time, right? Wellness was not in anyone's tongue, and the idea of a food business that preceded Sweet Green and blah blah blah. None of them. They were they weren't even in diapers, right? They weren't there. There wasn't. It wasn't there.
Right.
And
Non-existent.
and I said, okay, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do a food delivery business.
Wow.
I've always been, this is what I want to do. I'm a Capricorn, very focused. I'm going to get it done. We'll figure it out. We'll make mistakes.
Everything
we'll figure
is
it out.
Figure-outable,
I was tasting burgers, to make sure for some clients they didn't eat onions, and we were same day shipping across the country. It was crazy.
Wow.
That lasted 2 years.
Okay.
And I thought, okay, you know what? I'm not a foodie.
Yeah.
I'm a foodie, but I'm not a restaurateur.
Got it.
But what do we need? I'm training all these beautiful women. They don't have supplements, and they're not eating well.
Right.
They're having their burgers, their coffee,
And
their French fries, or worse, it's coffee and cigarette, and get ready for the runway. And I need to get them healthy. So I did a lot of research and a lot of formulation, worked with an amazing company, and launched one-of-a-kind supplements. The idea was beauty from within.
I love it.
And
speaking my language.
Yeah, so I would take care of their bodies, their butts, their arms, their bellies, whatever.
Right.
And my nutrients, my supplements, proteins and vitamins and energy and cleanses would help me and complement it. And so we're about to relaunch. Congrats. Hopefully we'll relaunch by spring.
Okay, I'm going to hold you to that.
Good.
You're your accountability partner.
I need one.
Okay.
I do. They're great. They're natural. They taste great. Somebody gave me some supplement a few days ago, and it has all these amazing ingredients. And I can't say it right, but there's a seaweed or whatever.
Yeah.
But it tasted
like crap.
Horrible.
Yeah.
It was like
can't do it.
Cough medicine.
Yeah, I can't do it.
And I said, I don't care how good this is for me.
Right.
It's got to be pleasant. I want to be able to take it.
Of
right.
course.
So my supplements I'm excited about. I'm excited to be at Core Club. I built one of the most beautiful state-of-the-art
it is beautiful.
one-on-one training facilities down in the Flatiron District, and had that for 27 years. And last spring decided it was time for my next exciting venture.
Hashtag next level.
Next level. David Kirsch 2.0.
David Kirsch 2.0.
And I had the good fortune of being invited to recreate the fitness space at Core Club.
Yep.
An amazing, beautiful members-only club.
Yes.
And I redesigned it, and we got some programming in here, and it's really quite beautiful.
It really is.
And
it's a beautiful place to work out.
It's a beautiful place to go home. So I'm very
Congrats.
blessed and lucky to have that. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I personally try to live by the 80-20 rule. 80% of the time you try to do well, and 20% you just go be free, and then make up for it afterwards. I think it's a relatively healthy way to live. But I couldn't possibly restrict myself and say no to truffle fries all the time. Or sorbet.
Yeah. And I think the 80-20 rule is a very smart. I think I would say it differently. For me, I would say, look, if you really want that,
no guilt.
Then I want you to think about what you're eating. Enjoy or savor every single bite. Every bite. And know that tomorrow I'm going to blast you in the gym.
It will definitely make you think twice about having something perhaps that you shouldn't have. Remember when you busted me getting the marshmallows after working out?
Yeah.
It was just 2 marshmallows.
Well, that's just it, right? Look, I want to have fun. I want to have gelato. I want to have a French fry. I want to have what? But there are also healthier ways to do it.
True.
So I can do roasted sweet potato fries for the girls and I. Yeah. And there are ways to do it.
By adding roasted marshmallows on top of the sweet
Absolutely.
potato fry. Hey, yeah. Okay. So what do you wish you had more time to do? Don't say work out with me.
I had, that's a given, of course. I wish I had more time to spend quality time with my daughters and my family, for sure. I wish I had more time to travel with them.
Any particular country or region or part of the world?
Italy first. Yeah. I'm a crazy Italophile. That's why they're named Emilia and Francesca. We're Jewish. We're not Italian. But so that, I think. And just, I've done a lot myself. I sort of want to live through them now and experience with them and see it through their eyes. Who knows? There may be another book or 2 or 3. I don't know. I love writing.
And you write
well. Thank you. And what else? I don't know.
Sounds as if you've done quite a bit. You've done a lot.
I think, yeah.
Is there anything on your bucket list that's left of all those things? Anything more on that bucket list? If you have a bucket list, it strikes me that once you think of something that you want to do, you just do it.
I'm impulsive that way. Yeah, I do. The babies were a bucket list, right? As a single entrepreneur, right? Yeah. And single guy in New York, putting the brakes on, and the middle of the height of my career.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm still recovering a bit, right? I think that was a major bucket list for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And you decided to do that alone. To have 2 girls.
Yeah. Crazy.
Wow.
Well,
crazy,
I didn't know the'd be 2 girls.
Yeah, I know
right?
you didn't know there'd be 2.
Nor did I know they'd be 2. But I rock with girls. Yeah. I get them, right? Yeah. So yeah.
Okay. Congratulations. It's
you.
Awesome. It's awesome. So if you became president of the United States, or a world leader, let's keep it more neutral.
Yes.
What would be one of the first laws that you'd pass?
So I think that health and wellness is not promoted as much as it should be, right? I think it's still something that isn't really attainable or accessible to everyone. And I think that what Michelle Obama was doing, Let's Move
campaign,
was so beautiful.
It was fantastic.
It was so, it resonated across
culture, transcended race,
ages,
age, gender.
What didn't matter. It didn't matter. Old, young.
It was universal.
So for me, that's important. I think the global climate is something that is crucially important, and I think that not just our current political situation in America, but even past presidents. It's hard. It's very hard to understand that. I love traveling, and it makes me very sad that there are places in the world that won't be here in 10, 20, 30 years.
Or that there are places in the world currently that may be restricted to travel because of current situations.
Yeah. So.
I know. I have a serious case of wanderlust, and I've had to rethink some travel plans recently, which is really sad. It's unfortunate. Okay, so do you have a quote, a favorite quote, or an affirmation that you live by, or philosophy?
So I'm gonna mess this one up, but Nelson, it was attributed to Nelson Mandela, but then I was told it wasn't him, but he reused it, and it was a woman. But the idea of the quote was basically we're all born with a light, and when we realize we have that, we have a responsibility to share it. The idea of hiding behind this is criminal.
Yeah.
And I'm paraphrasing, so don't, anyone listening to this, but the idea is once you know you have this, I knew.
Yep.
I had it. There was definitely a aha moment that Oprah used to talk about. And you have a responsibility to yourself and to those around you to share that passion, share
That's
that
right.
knowledge, share
That's
that
right.
gift.
Yes. Who are you not to share that?
You know
yeah,
it.
I know that quote. I'm going to find it. She's an author, maybe the author of A Return to Love, but I'm going to find that quote and I'll post it. It's a beautiful quote.
Yes.
I love that quote, and every time I read it, it's like, damn, so true, so good.
Who is a woman that Oprah quoted a lot? When someone shows you who they are, believe them.
Oh, is it
Maya
Maya Angelou? Yeah,
did
Maya
Ma-
Angelou.
was it did Maya Angelou? Is that possible?
It's possible. I'm going to have to find that
Yeah,
quote
but
because
it's
I
a
do
bit-
have it. I know,
but
and I have the book. If
it's a-
that is the woman I'm thinking of.
When I finished writing Sound Mind, Sound Body, I was sitting in
Yes.
my friend Desiree Gruber's
Yes.
office, and on her desk
She's got that quote.
was that quote.
Oh my gosh,
And I looked at it, and I said, that's the end of my book.
perfect.
And I closed the book with that.
With that, okay, we'll find it and we'll post it. I like it. What's the best compliment you've ever received from anyone? I give them to you every week, so you can't use the ones.
Yeah,
that
right. The best compliment, that I'm the best father.
I love that. That enough said. That's perfect. That's perfect. And this may be related. How do you define success?
Success for me is knowing I'm doing what I'm meant to be doing and giving it 500%. That's
500%.
success. No walking through life, no going through the motions.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Getting in.
Getting in
Leaning
and
in.
doing
like
it.
Michael Jackson style, leaning all the way forward. Can you do that move? I can't. Is that a core move?
Yeah. The girls can do it. That's something that flexibility.
Maybe that should be one of my hashtag fitness goals.
Let's try it.
Lean all the way forward like Michael Jackson did.
Let's
I
do
have
it.
the socks, and clearly I have the gloves, but I don't have the moves. Working on it. Work in progress. Okay. So what are some of the biggest things you've learned in life thus far? Your life lessons. Care to share?
Yeah.
These interview questions are like serious, right?
Things don't always go your way.
I know.
And there's a purpose, there's a reason for everything. Everything.
I do believe that.
There are teaching moments. And the quote, right? What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, right? I used to think, Mom, you're so smart, you're so poetic. God, you made that one up. I'm like, please, I don't need to be any stronger.
Right. Yeah.
But understanding there's a larger purpose, there's a bigger purpose out there, and trying to look beyond that.
Yeah.
And again, looking at it again, I reference my daughters a lot because,
They're the centers of your universe, right?
they
now.
are the centers of my
Yeah.
universe,
Yeah.
right? And so, how I react to things, I see them as moments of, these are the ways that I want to show my daughters how to treat others, how to act, how to react.
Yeah.
So I think one of the things I've learned in my years is not to be as reactive. And one of the things I say often at the end of talking to people is remember the power of the breath, the breathing, the idea that taking 5 breaths before answering a question, before responding to a moment that you might otherwise regret if you don't.
Very true.
It allows you to connect with yourself.
Yeah.
So
I love what you said about everything having a purpose. I think for me that was one of the more difficult things to learn, because there's some bad things that happen, right? Or unpleasant, whatever you want. Some people say, oh, there are no such thing as bad things. They're just things. Okay, whatever. There's some bad things that happen. And there's some bad things that have happened to me. And it has been very difficult for me to grasp the concept and to hold on to the belief that that thing that happened was meant for me. And it was meant to help me grow and evolve and transform and all that. I was just kind of asking myself, is there another message I could get besides the thing that really stings? Right? Is there another way? But sometimes not.
So along those lines, people look at my career, look at who I am, and superficially, oh, this guy, successful, he has business and all these things, and
it's a fabulous life you have.
I think one of the things that resonates with people as much is that the people that really know me know that I've had my struggles, certainly physical struggles, a couple years preceding having the girls. Definitely had some health issues, real health issues.
Really?
And I almost died. And so coming through that.
Wow. I don't think most people know that
and
about
understand
you.
And understanding that was it was galvanizing, right? You do you see God? Who knows what you see? But you're at this moment where you've lost control, right?
Yeah.
As a Capricorn.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
That must
my
have been
God.
tragic for you.
What's going on, guys?
I can't control this. I can't put my horns through it.
but emerging from that.
Yeah. Is miraculous in and of itself.
Miraculous. And you have a very different perspective on yourself, the people around you, God.
Oh, yeah.
And again, to refer to the quote that I said was Nelson's, but wasn't Nelson's, but God bless him because he had so many and he was such an amazing man. So I'm going to give him props anyway.
Okay. Big up to Nelson. Rest in peace.
got through that. I got through that because I stayed connected, and I felt that once I did, that nuance that I referred to in training, that brought me to a different level of trainer.
So everything is related.
100%. And the greatest artists out there, music, painting, whatever your medium is, have a level of angst, pain, something for it to really, really be deep and genuine
and help to connect
and
to
meaningful.
others.
So you ask people say about me, and I remember we were doing a review of my website, and we were canvassing people all the time, and they were like, there are 3 words, David: integrity, authenticity, and what was the third one? and truthfulness.
Yes.
Right? That being just real.
Yeah, honesty.
And not being perfect.
Right.
Because being perfect is boring.
It's not real.
It's boring. It's boring.
It's not real.
So, yeah, that's where.
I love it. Okay. So you mentioned that you were excited about some things coming up. So let's say by the end of the month, you've achieved all of your goals. Relaunched your supplement line, your roster of clients is through the roof. Yes, it will happen. What would you do next?
So the blessing and curse of being a Capricorn is I don't want to say it's never enough, but there's always something else that I want to do. And I think that there are messages to be disseminated and there are lessons to share. I'm very passionate about kids' wellness.
Yes.
I think that's the next thing I want to tackle in a very big way.
I like that.
My last book, Ultimate Family Wellness, was
Yes.
all about that.
Yes, it was.
The idea that at 4 or 5 years old, my daughters could be on the cover of this book with me.
Yeah.
Not as props, but as active participants.
That's right.
The idea that we can all be healthy. We can all live a balanced, real life.
The family that works out together stays together.
And certainly looks good together.
Yeah, that's for sure. And that is important.
Yes.
Beauty's important.
Yes.
It's not superficial. It's deep. Okay. So what's the most interesting thing you've learned about yourself thus far? Yourself.
I think if I have, I have a couple of flaws, and I think that a couple maybe. I've learned, right, and maybe I haven't embraced it fully. I need to not be shy to ask for help, not to. The idea of doing this podcast with you, I'm very honored. I'm excited to do it.
I am absolutely honored that you're here. I was afraid to ask you. I'll be honest. I was like, oh my God, it's David Kirsch. He Kirsches my ass every week. I don't know. He's got all these celebrities. I'm just a girl.
I love to talk. And so the thing I love to be known for is not being that celebrity trainer. Like, I don't let people use that anymore.
I didn't use it. I said master trainer.
Yeah. So, but
sculptor.
Yeah. I love that. So I need to, it's okay to ask for help and it's okay to share with people and not, so I need to do more of that. So I'm trying. I'm working on it.
Thank you. Well, you may ask for my help anytime.
Thank you.
Okay. So quick last two questions. Pick one. Book or e-reader?
Book. I need to touch it, feel it, turn the pages.
Palpability. I'm with you on that.
Yes.
Suit or sweats?
Suit.
What?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I clean up really nice.
I'm sure you do. I've seen some of those photos with you out partying with your peeps. You do clean up. You do also do a fantastic, what do you call it, costume, masquerade, painted on situation.
Inspired by Heidi Klum. Yes.
Oh my gosh. Some of your, I can't even call them outfits because there's no clothing. You're painted on.
Yes.
Your stuff is painted on.
All painted. Painted and taped.
Brilliant artist and clearly
more covered.
Quite a fitting canvas, if I may say.
Thank you, my dear.
All right. So, number 3, cook at home or dine out?
Home.
What?
Any day.
All right. We disagree on that, but I know it's healthier.
No, I'm good in the kitchen, and I love creating things, and I love having dinners and sitting at my dining table and not being rushed and not being...
And having guests and conversations.
All of it.
Great. I look forward to my invitation. All right. Number 4 of the Fast 5, push-ups or pull-ups?
Push-ups.
Are we getting 10 of those in, right?
Yep.
Okay. Green tea or green juice?
Depending on the time of day. I like them both.
Okay.
I love starting my day with green juice.
Okay.
And then green tea.
Okay. Last one of the Fast 5, uptown or downtown?
Downtown.
Okay. All right. Well, last question. Everybody always ends with this, myself included. What would you say are your top 5? We call them the Fab 5. The top 5 recommendations for living your most beautiful life. They can also include your top 5 fitness/wellness moves. So what are your Fab 5?
Be mindful, be accountable, believe in yourself,
I love that one.
visualize, and breathe.
I love it. And on that note, a deep exhale. and gratitude to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you
for being on this podcast. I'm honored.
I had a great time, and
I'll see you at the
I am
gym.
as well. Yes. Get ready. I get your
It's on.
cursed.
Cursed.
Thank you for listening to this week's episode of Forever Fab, the podcast on fashion, the art of living, and all things beauty, curated by Dr. Shirley Madhere, MD. Live beautifully and help make the world a more beautiful place.